There's no king of anything. It's king of Nigerian music or king of African music.
It's about to go down.
Who do I think the king of Afrobeats is? Let me be honest. I don't really like these types of questions.
Oh man, that's a difficult question.
I'm really thinking hard.
You know, I feel like we always ask this type of questions because you guys want clicks.
You see, I don't think Afrobeats in this current day is monolithic in that sense that there is a single entity that can, be crowned king.
There's a thing about we creating a genre that we felt would work for whatever sound, how Nigerians, we like to box things up. We want to put people in a box. Ask me that question. I feel everybody's different in their own way. And this isn't about me trying to, put somebody against anybody. I don't like comparisons. I feel like somehow everybody have a different style. Burna is different from David different from Rema different from Ira Star. And if you listen to their body of work, take out time, you can tell that there's a lot of fusion. But for me, the king of Afro beats, I don't care about Afro beats, is Fela. Let's not be having all this conversation. King of Afrobeat, king of this, king of that. One guys just call the Afrobeats. I don't want to mention him. Now. There's no king of anything. It's king of Nigerian music or king of African music.
What are the metrics for choosing? You know what I mean? Influence, for example. Olamide, Olamide is my goat. Yeah? Right? Because he's been able to influence sound, he's been able to influence poses, lambas, you know what I'm saying? Look at how intentional he is about his album titles. He's been a kingmaker as well, and he's giving us back-to-back hits too. So if that's a metric, he does qualify, right? Davido has given us back-to-back hits as well. Like every summer we're jamming Davido, Wizkid's influence is like undeniable, even with the sound. There's a type of Afrobeats that came right after Wizkid. There was a time where everybody was sounding like Wizkid, the templates, it was just modeled after his sound. Burna Boy as well on a global stage, like who's performing like Burna Boy, so I don't know, man. Well, you know that Olamide is my goat, so for the sake of this conversation, I'm gonna go with Bado.
First and foremost, I don't think there is a king of Afrobeats. I think they're kings of Afrobeats because they're all kings in different regard. They are kings and local kings, international kings, record kings. It's like if you look at an international artist like, for example, maybe a Bob Marley, for example, he wasn't the greatest in Jamaica. There were others, but he was the greatest internationally. So you have international superstars and you have, continental superstars and you have local superstars. So it's very difficult to compare them. But there is only one king of Afrobeat, but there are kings of Afrobeats. And I can identify maybe just 3 kings for now. Because they've been there, they've done that, they've stood the time, they've done time. Time is important. Milestones are things you can't argue with. You understand? You can't argue with milestones. You can't argue with records. You can't argue with albums. You get it? So I would say there are 3 kings of Afrobeats right now. Burna, Wizkid, and Davido. Wait, so
I won't say who the king of Afrobeats is. I would say who my king of Afrobeats is. Am I allowed to switch it around? Okay. So I think for me it's OBO. Yes. Yeah, it's OBO. I guess OBO, for me, he just has that, it's not just about the music, it's about the music and the personality joined together. And I think he knows how to blend it really well. Like when you listen to you always hear an excitement in a Davido song that you can't really hear in a lot of artists' songs. So I think that's for me. It's OBO badass.
First off, you cannot even mention Afrobeats without mentioning the guys who have been there for a long period of time. In fact, people would even say, people who have shaped the culture, who have been very impactful in the industry, not just this genre, but for the culture as a whole. They'll say Olamide, for example. Some people would say Davido and Wizkid. some people will mention Burna Boy now, the big three. There's also the introduction of Rema, now making it the big four. But who really is the king of Afrobeats? I think it's only fair to look at this from the point of view of those who have been there for a longer period of time. So that, unfortunately, clearly eliminates Rema. I think for over a decade and more, Davido and Wizkid have been doing it successfully for a longer period of time. And I think for most people, the debate would linger over who the GOAT is or who the king of Afrobeats is. Is it Davido? Is it Wizkid? I would have to say Davido, personally, for many reasons. Say Davido, for me, because, he's done so much for the culture, he's improved the game tremendously, and I think for me, Davido is the king of Afrobeats.
Based on longevity and in terms of hit music, like who has been giving us back-to-back bangers, personally, I would say Davido. Because if I were to go to like a party or something, I would probably dance to a Davido track over, anyone else. And it's not like Wizkid has really been giving us some... it's great music he's been giving us, yeah, but like, if I want to lift up my mood, that's not the first thing I'm going to put on. So, and Afrobeats is all about dance, it's all about movement. Also, my issue is that I don't necessarily dance to things I don't completely understand. And it's not like Olamide helps by providing translations to his lyrics. So I'm not exactly going to go and start dancing to what I don't understand, okay? So yeah, if he can start giving us English translations, his music is going all over the world. Not everybody understands Yoruba. We should consider that. The foreigners are doing it, Korean people, Asian people, they put subs so that you understand what you're listening to. Maybe if we start that, then. But yeah, Olamide makes great music, but,
I look at Afrobeats more like a Game of Thrones, Westeros, the 7 kingdoms. We have 7 strong kingdoms in the Afrobeats terrain. We have Davido, Burna Boy, Wizkid, Kiss Daniel, Rema, and Olamide. Okay, 6. And if we're to put a 7th person on that list, then let's say perhaps maybe Tiwa Savage to complete the pantheon of seven kingdoms. And I think Egon, in this context, would be Fela, who unified the 7 kingdoms. So I don't think Afrobeats has been monolithic since the days of, P Square, D'banj, and Two-Face, where we had single forces dominating at a time. I think right now it's pretty decentralized across several people. Because if you call one person's name, you will be neglecting a whole other aspect that existed concurrently. If I call Davido, you would argue that Wizkid has been doing pretty much the same thing for a similar period of time. And if I say Burna Boy, you would argue, Davido and Wizkid were there before. If I say Olamide, you would say, he's the king of the streets. So you see how different people have different catchment areas in a sense. So I see Afrobeats like Westeros and the 7 kingdoms with the unificator, or should I say the unifier, being Fela.
Those 4 artists, Olamide, Wizkid, Davido, and Burna, who is coming out alive? Battle of Hits. Battle of Hits? Yes. Now, you see, that's the funny thing. If you want to put it in that same light, in Nigeria, Battle of Hits, that would be Olamide. Right now, putting it on the world map, right now, Battle of Hits, you give it to Davido, 100.
That's a packed list. Where's Rema in the conversation? You want Gen Z to be mad at you. I think, if you're having this conversation, you need to find a place to put Rema when it concerns Battle of Hits. I would say Davido. Anytime any day, Davido, he will come correct.
My money's on Davido. For many summers, the song that was always coming out on top, or let's even say top 3, it was always a Davido song.
What about Burna in the last 5 years?
If you're looking at people who are interested in socio-political, conscious music type things, Burna has hits in that direction. But in terms of hits that really move the streets, you can't count in numbers, compare Davido to Burna Boy over the years.
All of them? Uh, they'll come out in different ways. Some people will swim, some people will run, some people will dive, some people will fly, but they will all come out alive. Wiz has jams for days, man. Olamide just dropped us papers today. Now I didn't know jiggy. You know, Davido, he's giving us now, guys. So what are we? Okay, so hits. I'll say Davido. Can I choose Olamide as well? And then everybody follows.
This is really biased.
Battle of hits. I think it's Oluwa Burna. I think it's Burna Boy. Burna Boy has a lot of albums. I think he has the most albums and a lot of hit songs. So it's Burna for the win.
Man, these guys are all kings, man. Hits. I don't think anybody can argue with the fact that Olamide, you know, is truly the street king, man. You know, in terms of the recognitions with the streets. I think it'll be hard to beat that because he's been doing it, man. You know, and yeah, I think it's Olamide, man.
See, that's crazy because these respective gentlemen had hits the time I was growing up. So I can say that I lived through all the phases of these artists. And my God, I think at some point early in my career, I was working in radio and there was one person who had an unprecedented feat. Almost every single person asking for a song on the radio for a period of a couple of months had only one person. I had never seen it before. And this same person could drop a hit after a hit after a hit. You would wonder if his only place on the charts was at #1. I don't know how he does it, and I don't think anyone has quite an impressive, majestic run when it comes to hit making back to back to back. And considering his longevity and the fact that he's still doing it and making other people do it, this person has hits in his veins. Olamide.
Oh yeah, after all this king talk, next time we're doing queens, please. We need to talk about my girlies, because in the words of Ira Star, they've been carrying afrobeats on their back this year.